Hi sweethearts, it's Amber. Today's Wednesday. Before I get started, I do want to say a nice little shout out to all of my sisters in Kappa Delta. Happy Founders Day. So I'm doing a twofer this week because I was slack last week and didn't do a video. So last week's topic was favorite thing about dating a trans man or being partner to a trans man. The biggest thing that I love about him, especially about the trans piece, is when I'm talking about girly things, he understands those things, I think, better than some of the cisgendered men in my life. So for example, if I'm talking about cramps, he knows what that feels like. If I'm complaining about something related, especially around the physical things around being a girl, he has a reference point and he knows what those things are like. And so it makes me feel like when the time comes, if we have a girl, that he will be able to be that much better of a father to a girl, because he knows what it's like to grow up as a girl, which a cisgendered guy just doesn't know. So I think that is one of my absolute favorite things about dating a trans man, is having a guy who doesn't just understand what it means to be a woman kind of in a someone's explained it to me sense, but someone who understands it in a I lived it for a while sense. And then our topic this week is pride. So Stefan and I think around Pride, we tend to go every year somewhere to Pride. But I think for us, we both have a lot of gay friends. For me, many of my friends in the community don't live where I live. So I don't really have that sort of ready-made group to go to Pride with like a lot of my friends do in other cities. So I think that kind of, for us, is part of why we tend to go spend an hour or two at Pride and, maybe watch a musical act or two, or here in Dayton, I like to go when the drag queens are performing because they're awesome. So we kind of go and spend a couple hours and then we go home. We don't tend to be the kind of Pride goers who spend the whole day there or a couple days doing Pride stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's just not, for either of us, it's not particularly our thing. I think part of it is that, I can at least say for me, I'm not a huge festival person, so I don't have a strong desire, though I am a huge extrovert, I don't have a strong desire to spend a large amount of time at festivals. So that's part of it for me. In terms of the relationship between Stefan's trans identity and going to Pride, I think right now, from what I've seen, folks see us as a queer couple at Pride. I think I have found that people in the community are a lot more observant around chest and demeanor and all those sorts of things to try and figure out whether someone is male or female, especially because there are a lot of folks who are androgynous, or where at first glance it's not as easy to tell. So I think there's a natural tendency in the community to really do an extra in-depth assessment. So from what I've seen, most people see us as a queer couple at Pride. But I definitely wonder, as we continue to go to Pride, especially after he has top surgery, how we'll be perceived. I have a strong desire to, and maybe a selfish need to, not be seen as a straight couple. So I'm intrigued to see, for us moving forward, how people perceive us, because I anticipate, especially after top surgery, that a lot of people will perceive us as straight as long as he has a shirt on. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that pans out, because I think, though, we in the community recognize the need to have straight folks who are our allies, especially when it comes to voting on things. I think sometimes we're not always as welcoming and accepting in queer circles of people who don't identify as queer, or who we don't perceive as identifying as queer. So like I said, I'm intrigued to see, especially post top surgery, sort of what pride will look like for us. So I should know something about that hopefully by next summer, because Stefan's hoping to have top surgery in the early part of next year. Have a great week, and we'll see everybody next week.